So welcome back to another live, guys. It's been a while, but we are in a beautiful yoga studio. We are doing a volunteering exchange with a beautiful soul that is hosting us. And this space that you see here is a beautiful studio that we get to use. So Samantha is doing yoga here, and I am doing my sessions. So thank you so much for being here. We are in a city called Nanaimo in Vancouver Island in Canada. And I'm very happy to be back with you guys. Hi, Monica. Win-win. Yeah, better win-win. And today, the topic of the live session is it's the healing power of presence. Just being present. And the healing power of being witnessed in that presence. And to be honest, I was just thinking the last few days, what can I host? What do I want to be talking about? What do I want to share with you in these lives? So I sat in meditation for a little bit. That day actually sat for 1 hour. I did 2 half-an-hour periods because I put my timer for half an hour and I stayed there in silence, and probably took me 20 minutes or more to kind of diffuse all the thoughts that I had. And then when the timer went, I wanted another half an hour. And this concept of presence came. So you have to talk about this, and then you have to talk about the uncertainty that you are in and having a life from this place from the unknown that I'm sitting in right now in my life. So that is the next life that I schedule that you guys will be able to enjoy. And the third one that I'm hosting, it's a topic that I was avoiding, but there was this voice in me that said, you have to talk about this, you have to talk about this. It's important. So I honor that voice. And that one is about sacred sexuality and healing through sexual energy. I want to talk about sexuality, self-pleasuring, masturbation, and all the things that normally are taboo. So that's a good way to bring presence to something that feels uncomfortable. So today I want to talk about, I want to have a conversation with you guys about presence. What does presence mean? How much presence do you feel you have in your life? How is presence helping you heal, helping you become more of who you are? How much presence are you able to bring towards you? And how much presence are you able to offer others? And I would like to talk about what that means. What does presence mean? Hi, Cecilia. Nice to see you here too. So before getting started, I will invite all of you to just take a few deep breaths with me. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. I feel called to move my neck a little bit and my shoulders. Just allow yourself to do a little body scan if you can. Just notice how you feel. Bring presence to your head, to your eyes, to your jaw. Maybe you can move it and then see how it feels. I do these funny things with my mouth. And I really realize how much tension I have in my jaw. And then move your presence to your neck. And then move your neck a little bit. You can use your hands and you can put them around your neck in a way that feels good to you. And then bring some presence to your shoulders. You can move them up and down a little bit. And I invite you to use your breath to release any tensions that you may feel. I invite you to move your arms, your fingers, your wrists, and then just keep moving your presence down at a pace that feels good to you. Your torso, your solar plexus, and all the way down through your thighs, all the way down to your feet. And just bring presence to what is in your body right now. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And you can come back. And you can share what you noticed when you brought presence to your body. What did you notice? I notice a lot of sensations in my neck when I put my hands on it. It just felt really nice, felt warm and very comforting. I noticed that moving my neck felt really nice, and I released. And I noticed just moving my arms and kind of moving my torso felt really it felt really nice. I could finally release my neck with gentle cracking. Amazing, Peta. My jaw. Rosa. What did you notice in your jaw? Sometimes we do clench our jaws a lot when we are kind of tense. This was a little bit of a body scan for you guys to land into this session, to hopefully be more present. And I would like to open up the chat for the question, what does presence mean to you? What does presence mean to you? So Peta said, being present feels like when I am on holidays, really being in the moment, engaging and listening to others deeply, activating all my senses and being in awe. Amazing. Be here now. Amazing. Rosa said she noticed tension and sore in her jaw. Amazing. Stop planning future responsibilities. Sarah, beautiful. So just stop planning for future moments. So basically just be present in the present moment. Amazing. Anything else that comes to mind? For me, things that come to mind about being present are connecting with my senses really helps. Connecting with my breath, connecting with the space where I'm in, connecting with the touch, with smells, basically connecting with any physical sense, just listening to what's happening around me. That helps me kind of disconnect from my thoughts and from that kind of voices that are running, and then come to here, to where I'm now. Accepting what is comes to mind. I can be present when I can accept what's happening without needing to change that, without needing to do anything about it. Curiosity comes to mind when I feel about presence. When I'm present, I'm just curious about what's happening. So I'm not trying to control, I'm not trying to impose, I'm being curious. And then that brings me also, when I'm being present, I feel like an observer. I kind of step back. I step back and I stop doing and I start being. So I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to be. So that also comes to being present. Elizabeth says, when all the noise disappears, allowing me to simply my focus. Yeah. So there is a sense of when you are present, then you can be more conscious. And then from that presence, you have more clarity about what you want to focus on next. So there is a little bit of kind of like regrouping, and then you assess, you feel, and then you decide. Yeah, noticing all the small things, especially in nature, finding the beauty and taking my time. Yeah, I feel hopeful and optimistic being present. Amazing. Yeah, some other components about presence is, and I was looking at what not to do when you are trying to be present, right? And I found pretty nice things that are really true. Like when you are being present, you are not interrupting. You don't have an agenda or a specific outcome in mind. You can be present with what is, and you don't need to fix anything. You can be present with what is, and you don't need to judge, criticize. You don't need to have any judgments about what you are seeing. This is really important because if we are bringing presence to ourselves or we are bringing presence to others, there is a different quality of presence when you are fixing, interrupting, trying to say what you think. When you notice that there is a judgment inside of you about what it's being said, it's very different than when you can be curious, you can be present with what's being said or what's being done, but there is no need for you to do anything. You don't need to fix. It's not about you. I think that's a very important one. You don't make things about you. It's about what is, not about you or how you feel about that moment. So these are some of the things that are coming up. Thank you so much for sharing the things that are coming up for you. So and then there is a connection between presence, being present, and being witnessed. And that can be very healing because when there is something that is affecting you, impacting you, traumatizing you, limiting you, when there is a strong emotion activated in you about something, and this can be something just with yourself, or this can be something that happens in a relationship with someone else, there is a very powerful thing about being able to talk about it, about being able to express how you feel, regardless of if it's right, wrong, good, bad, whatever. But right now you are feeling something. And when you have space, safety to be able to express that thing, there is a very healing opportunity there for you to move through whatever needs to happen so that you can keep processing that. Majority of the times, that emotion is not going to be there forever. It's just something that needs to happen for you to be able to move that energy. Because emotion, energy in motion, it's really good to motion that energy, to move that energy so that you can keep going where you need to go, process how you have to process. So if you are in someone's presence or in your own presence with those qualities of not criticizing, not interrupting, not fixing, not needing anything to happen a specific way, there is an opportunity to just express what is without having to mold into something to please someone, to please yourself because you are afraid, because you have never been allowed to do that. So you just constrict yourself into something so that you can be loved, so that you can be accepted, so that you can get what you need to get. And most likely all these things come from inner child wounds, what you learn. Maybe you were not allowed to just be. Maybe you never had space or true presence so that you can express what was present for you in that moment. And right now we're trying to do the same thing. So receiving that presence can be the difference between you doing the same thing and being activated the same way and feeling triggered the same way and repeat the same dynamic, or you being able to express what is, and from that place of feeling seen, feeling that you exist, feeling allowed to just be what you are in that moment, from that place something new may start happening. So there is a very healing quality of you having that presence, having that container, having that consciousness from yourself towards yourself, or from someone else towards you. And you being witnessed by someone else can also be very, very, very healing. I will say also that it's very important for us to cultivate presence with ourselves first, because if we cannot give ourselves presence and receive that from ourselves, it's going to be very difficult to receive that from someone else. It's going to most likely feel unsafe, feel weird. It's going to feel like too much. And I have some examples that I will share later of my own personal experience and life, and we can maybe chat about the examples that you may have from your own life. I'm just curious to know if these things are resonating with you. I'm going to look at the chat now. So I see the presence of divinity available to connect with when we are embodied in the present moment of the eternal now. Yeah, not mine in future or past. Yeah, that's beautiful, Cat Blue. And that is so true, because the only thing that is really real is the present moment. Everything else doesn't really exist. So reminding ourselves of that is really powerful. Yeah, I am moving into this space, but it's a lonely place. Shifting from ego to presence and being feels nice that there are others in this space too. Jillian, yeah. It can feel lonely. I agree with that. It can feel scary. But I want to share something with you that is happening in my own life. When you are present with yourself, when you can witness yourself, and you start offering that to others, it's amazing to see how much people around you may open up way more than you think, because they are seeing you doing that. And I know there is a place and a time, and I know that not everybody is ready, and you need to trust your intuition about who you choose to do that with, okay? But sometimes, when in doubt, don't judge that the other person is not going to be able to go there with you. Don't make assumptions, because you don't know. Because I didn't know. I made a lot of assumptions about people around me. Oh, that person is not going to be interested in this. Oh, that person, if I talk about this, they're going to freak out. Oh, that person is going to judge me if I share about this. And the truth is that none of that happened. When I was able to get vulnerable and share, quite the opposite is what I received. And the more I do this, the more I can see myself, and the more I can see in others. And when I can truly do this from a place of, I don't need anything. I don't need to change anything. And whatever you may share with me, it's not about me. And I don't need to soak it either. This is your stuff. I'm just there with you. And this is something that also comes up a lot with many people. They are afraid, I'm afraid too many times, that if I get too vulnerable, if I share too much, what if the other person opens up a lot and all of a sudden I have this wave of things thrown at me? And then if I'm an empathetic person, I may just soak everything up. But that doesn't have to be like that. And you creating presence and creating a container where the other person can share doesn't mean that you have to take everything in and make it yours. There can be boundaries. There can be an energetic shield if you want. And it's not about you. It's not about what you feel. It's not about what you think. It's not what you need to do about it. There is none of that. And I'm guilty of always trying to go to that place. If someone shares something with me, what can I do to support you? And I learned the hard way that sometimes I don't have to do anything. Just me being there is enough. And it's such a hard lesson to learn because it feels that I'm not doing enough. But I am. And the other person is telling me, and I still don't believe it. So I'm sure you guys can resonate with this. I'm sure you have instances in your life where you have noticed this. So as I live my truth, it gives permission and affirmation for others to live their truth. Amazing. Yeah, so true. So true. I find it hard to not try and fix things, but I'm learning to just hold space for others. Yeah, Lisa, I hear you. My entire life, I always believed that it was my responsibility to fix things if I could. My people-pleasing part of myself cannot stay still if there is something I feel I can do, regardless of what the other person needs. I'm just going to try and do something because that is the nice thing to do, right? And in doing that, I am not being present with the other person. I am not being present with myself. I am not allowing myself to just be. I am not allowing the other person to ask for what they need. I am not asking the questions that they need. I am not asking for consent. And sometimes I just dump my solution on them. And that is not what they want or need. And that creates even more agitation. So yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Thank you. The truth is this, just being space. For me, it's more the idea of awakening and seeing that no one around me really understands the way we see things. Shifting to presence and leaving the mind behind. Yeah, I really agree with that, Gillian. We will never understand what the reality is from someone else's experience. So who are we to decide what's best for them? It's just, but it's very difficult because I have been conditioned in the doing. I have not grown up with people who knew how to hold presence. It is sad, but it is the truth. Because they were not modeled that, because they didn't have the opportunity to learn that, because the dynamics in the family were not like that. Interrupting, speaking on top of each other, fixing, imposing what you want to others, people pleasing. There were so many dynamics that were against presence. And emotional intimacy was very uncomfortable. Because when you don't know how to do it, it's very overwhelming. That is why today's topic is so important. Because we need to learn how to do this. We need to be able to do this. Otherwise, we are avoiding, we are escaping, we are imposing, we are fixing, we have an agenda, and we are not allowing everybody to have their own experience. We are not being respectful. Yeah, our people pleasing kept us safe. Yeah, Becca, of course. People pleasing was what we learned how to do in order to maintain harmony, love, what kind of love, whatever you understood by that, but basically safety. I would say more safety. Like when you were little, if someone was not okay with you doing something or being something, you learn that you have to people please them because otherwise you're going to be punished. And when you don't have resources and you don't have options, you are a little one that rely on adults to survive, you truly don't have any other options. But as we grow up, we do have other options. How did you learn to break free from your conditioning? Yeah, that's an amazing question. That is a work in progress. I am going through layers. Me doing these sessions and sharing about this is helping me cultivate my ability to create presence with myself, my ability to be witnessed by all of you. And I participate in a lot of avenues that allow me to keep nurturing this. Some examples. I've been attending Men's Circle for the last few years. So attending Men's Circle was a very beautiful avenue for me to be able to share the truth of my heart, to be able to bring things that maybe I didn't know where to bring into a safe container of other men that I knew, men that I trusted. And then we have this process to create the circle, and then we have this process to close the circle, and then we have a specific time in the circle to do inner work and to be able to be seen, to be witnessed, be able to ask for what you want. So that is one avenue that I have in my life. Another avenue that I have in my life is I have the fortune to have a partner, Samantha, that she is willing. She's willing to hold space. She's willing to sit in dialogue with me no matter what. And she's willing to give me her presence. She's willing to sit there and validate my experience. And I do the same for her. And it was really difficult to do that at the beginning. But now we do. It is a practice that we have developed for the last few years. No matter what the topic is, no matter what's happening in us, we know that we can always bring it to a dialogue. And we are both willing to sit down and we are both willing to hold space for each other. And there is a beautiful structure that we follow, and we created a course that is called Imago Dialogue, and it's available for you to check it out. So that is another beautiful avenue that I have. Another avenue that I have been creating in these past few years. I have a few, not a lot, but I have a few really good friends that I am in touch with mostly through WhatsApp now because I am moving around. But the depth that we can go into together, it's amazing. So I have those friends that I can be sharing with them anything that's happening in my life, anything that I feel shameful about, anything that I don't know what to do with. So I try not to bring everything to my partner because I don't want to overwhelm her either. And intuitively, I understand that sometimes I want to bring it to her, and sometimes that needs to be dealt with someone else in a different container. So I try to follow my intuition with that. Yeah, thank you, Samantha. She's in the chat. So that's another avenue, having friends that I have nurtured and I have shared and I have asked for consent. And one of the friends, for example, it's funny because he was in my Men's Circle, and it wasn't until a month ago that we became to really interact on a very deep way. And that was through a book. I reach out to him and then I say, hey, brother, I miss you. How are you doing? And then we got started the conversation. And then he recommended a book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. So I read that book that he sent to me. And then in the book, there is an exercise about sexual shame. And the exercise is inviting you to find one person that you can share all your sexual shame with. And at the beginning, it's like, I don't want to do that. But that's the part I need to bring presence to that part of me. I want to be witnessed by someone else in this. Because if I keep it for myself, it's not going to heal. I won't be able to move through this alone. And I don't want to. So that's another avenue. I asked him, hey, you recommended this book. You read this book. I feel safe with you. Do you want to be my safe person to share these exercises with? And he was blown away. He was so emotionally touched that I trusted him. Yeah, it makes me emotional because he told me, I have never felt this trusted. And then he shared things with me that he said, I have never shared this with anyone in my life. So that was another thing that it was in my mind when I decided to talk about this. It's like, wow, I can't believe that I created that. And I can't believe that he created that for me. And we are both healing together. So that was another opportunity to do these things with another person, to be present. Another example is, I was working with a client the other day. I was having a call. And the same thing. She just said, honestly, I was not doing anything in that call other than being present and listening. And sometimes when I do this work, I try to get myself out of the way. I try not to impose anything, not to come with an agenda. I don't want to have a specific structure. I want to follow my intuition. And I want to just do what feels needed in the moment. So I've been having several calls with the same person and I'm not doing anything other than being there. But just my presence, just me being there, just what my person represents for this person is enough to help them heal. It's enough to offer them what they need. And the same thing, this person shared, I'm sharing things with you that I have never been able to share with anyone else in the last 40 years. So this is how powerful it can be to nurture this presence, to be willing to be witnessed in your darkness, in your emotions, in your shadows, in the things that you don't like about yourself. So these are some examples. I have also gone to retreats, sexual retreats, where you are deeply seen by other people. And I see deeply to other people. And I can tell you that the sexual arena is one of the most powerful dimensions of healing available. And that's why 2 weeks from now, I think it is, I schedule another call about sacred sexuality and how sex can help you heal. Because I have to share it, I need to. Because it's so powerful. Because there is so much shame and so much limitation in that area that has a huge impact everywhere else in our lives. And if you have the opportunity to have a partner, you can do it alone too. But if you have a partner, it can be very powerful if you both are willing to go there. So Let me see the chat. Yeah, so it's a deep intimacy in friendship. What a beautiful human you are. Bless you. Thank you. You are lucky to have such an amazing friend. So, Lisa, I am very lucky. And I have created that too. This is what I was talking about before. It's not luck. It's not luck. It's you being willing to go there. Because if you are honest with yourself, there are so many opportunities for you to connect deeply with others if you are willing to. And if you start surrounding yourself by the people, by the topics that inspire you, these days, especially having access to the internet, there are groups for about anything, anywhere in the world. You can connect with people live. You can connect with people through groups like this. You can connect with people through so many different ways. And there are many opportunities to create connection with people that are unlike you, interested in the same things as you. So yeah, I feel very grateful. And I did ask for it. And I was able to go there. And it took me a while to do that. Because part of me felt like, I don't want to bother him. He's already busy enough. I don't deserve, I'm not worthy of his time. Like he has already enough in his life. Who am I to come and demand these things from him? So all those voices were inside of me. So it was really me doing the work with myself about, no, I deserve this. No, I am worthy of someone's attention. And I also want to give my attention. I am worthy of asking him. And if he says no, I'm not going to take it personally. High intention, low attachment. So when you come from that place, all of a sudden it becomes more easy to find people to do this with. But sometimes it does feel lonely. Sometimes, yeah, it can feel scary, absolutely. Yeah, that's how Eckhart Tolle started. People were attracted to being with him, just being present with them. Yeah, absolutely beautiful answer, Emilio. Thank you. I'm grateful for your heart, courage, and understanding of the importance of sharing such a sensitive topic, Emilio. Thank you, Becca. Trust is earned. Yeah, Becca, trust is earned. You have to earn it. And that's why you will intuitively know who you can trust and who you don't want to trust. And it's okay if you don't want to trust someone because there is a gut feeling in you that, But many times in my experience, I did not have a gut feeling of, I don't want to trust this person with this. I did have resistance inside of me to even ask for it, to even being willing to receive that from that person. So that is a very different thing, okay? Because sometimes I meet people and I know intuitively I can speak about masturbation with this person. I cannot about this one. I feel safe sharing this problem that I'm having with this person. There is something that doesn't feel right here with this person. So I will honor that compass of mine. But if I am confused, if I am noticing like I have resistance to sharing this with this person, but I know it has nothing to do with the person, it has all to do with me and my resistance of even going there, I will stretch myself if I can and ask, hey, my intuition is telling me, or I don't know how I will phrase it, it depends on the moment, but I will try my best to engage because I know that there is work for me to learn and to be done there. And another example, and then I open this for questions, is, so right now we are in a Workaway. Workaway is a website where you can do an exchange, right? There are many different ones out there, but this is how we found this place. Samantha found this place. So when we enter someone else's space, all of a sudden you have to create presence for that too. So let me explain what that means. So when I travel in the motorhome with my family, I need to create space and presence for my daughter, Eva. I need to create presence for my partner, Samantha, in different levels. So in one level, I am parents with her. In another level, we have a business together and some of the things we want to share. In another layer, we have the logistics of where are we going to sleep, where are we going to eat, what's next for us. And then there is a layer of intimate relationship, like we're lovers, try to be better lovers. So there are different levels that I need to create presence for. And then I have to create presence for my cat Negrito. And then now I have to create presence for this host, that we are staying with them. There are projects that need to get done. And guess what? We are here because that person also has to learn things, and I have to learn things, and Samantha is learning things. So the universe is putting us all here together because there are many times that Samantha and I, we do things very efficiently. We get things done really quickly. And for some people, that is very shocking. It's like, I don't, how are you guys so fast? Or how are you guys doing so much? But for us, I don't know, it's just natural, comes natural. So sometimes receiving that, this person feels like, oh, but you are doing so much for me. I just feel guilt. And even though we are telling her, like, we are capable of saying, if we are feeling stretched, we are capable of saying, I am done for today. We are capable of speaking up if we don't feel in alignment. But even though we are saying that, that person is learning how to receive. And that's why we are here. One of the reasons. And for me, it's the same thing. I want to feel that I belong. I want to feel that I am entitled to use this space. And then I want to create presence for any conflicts that may arise. Any times when one of us is emotionally agitated, I want to be able to be present. I want to be able to be curious. I want to be able to just hold space and see what can we do here without having an agenda. So this is another example of how presence is so important. Presence is very healing, and being witnessed in whatever dynamic we are experiencing by someone else is so powerful, especially when that someone else is just holding space and is just there for you, and they are not trying to do something or trying to change you or trying to, they are emotionally available. They are emotionally mature enough to just keep breathing, keep holding space. Remind yourself, this is not about me. Even though they feel agitated with my presence, it is not about me. And me noticing my parts, I'm feeling rejected. The part of me that feels abandonment, the part of me that feels that is not worthy, they are there, but I see you, and this is not about you. And I will hold space for you later. But of course, sometimes it explodes. Sometimes, like lately, like Samantha is very tired of many parts of myself. She has no tolerance for some of them because it's very overwhelming, it's very hopeless, it's very exhausting, it's very draining when a person repeats the same pattern over and over and over, and I don't self-regulate myself enough to be able to be present, and I allow what I am feeling to impact my mood, to impact the way I show up, to impact the way I love and receive love. That is challenging and difficult. And guys, that still happens all the time. One of my clients said, I don't believe you, Emilio. That's impossible. I can't believe that you will never do that. You are so conscious. I told this person, like, you want me to invite Samantha next time and she can share a few a few of the experiences that happened in the last 2 days. So it's not something that happens once every moon, it happens pretty much daily, especially now that everything is so. So guys, we are all in the journey of just learning, keep evolving, keep healing, and keep creating presence for what is, because it's necessary. It has to be earned. Yeah, so where are you guys at? Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys want to share something? And I have a couple of reflective questions that I would like to share with you when you are ready. But if you want to share something in the chat, I can create presence for that. Just grateful. It's definitely another form of intimacy. We can love people without being near or speaking them. Yeah. Thank you, Cecilia, for your donation. Yeah, so I have, are you guys open to a couple of questions to kind of spark some reflections? Cat Blue says, regular practice throughout the day, at least 30 seconds in presence throughout the day. We can learn to balance being, doing 50-50, or even more presence, 40-60, 20-80. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, this is an exercise, right? You don't have to be always all day. Ideally, we could be there and still be doing while being present. That would be amazing. But we're going to lose it every now and then, and that's okay. But just bringing that presence back, especially when we are feeling emotionally agitated. It is a continuous journey. I can struggle with not living up to my own knowledge of how I would like to show up. Yeah, absolutely. Same here. Sometimes we know things intellectually, but sometimes our bodies, our nervous system is catching up. And sometimes everything looks really good in here, and maybe you are alone, and I have practice, and I feel so grounded, and I feel like, oh, I'm ready for anything. And then I just enter the motorhome, and Samantha does something, or Eva does something that triggers me, and there I am again. That part of me that feels triggered, that part of me that feels abandoned, that part of me that feels overwhelmed shows up, and everything kind of, So, yeah, we need to be very compassionate and patient and keep showing up. That's the secret, to keep showing up. So these are some of the questions that I would like to share with you guys. So the first one, and feel free to share in the chat, okay? When was the last time that you felt truly seen? So when was the last time that you felt truly seen? Just reflect about it. And feel free to share in the chat if you want to, or just let the answer kind of come to you. For me, the last time I felt seen, it was yesterday when I did a dialogue. I asked for a dialogue with Samantha because I was angry about something that she did. And I was able to be seen in my anger. I was feeling angry. I was feeling resentful. I was feeling that I wanted revenge. So I was very activated. A part of me was very activated. But I was able to be seen in that. So that was yesterday. So I'm lucky. So curious to know. Beta says, by my closest friends this week, amazing. When my husband was alive, we had an indescribable bond. That's beautiful. Yesterday, my spouse stated his observation and validation of my experience. Amazing, Becca. And by my daughter on a country walk together. Amazing, Peta. I can't remember, sadly, many years ago. That's okay, Ella. It's okay that you are aware. And then the next question will kind of help you change that, right? Hopefully. Yesterday in a Zoom small group breakout room after an Eckhart Tolle new release event. Amazing. Seen by you this morning with eye contact, but a surprising one during summer solstice retreat. Feeling seen as a ceremonialist by a stranger. Amazing, Samantha. Today with the people in my meditation class. Yeah. Amazing. So I want to add a question that is mine, but I think what Ella responded kind of invited me to ask this question. And this question is simple. Are you ready to be seen fully? Are you ready to be seen fully? And sometimes, especially if we don't remember the last time that we were seen, maybe we can nurture that more. Maybe there are things that we can do that are in our control, that when we do them, they can evoke something different in other people. And that's what I was sharing before, that the sooner I create more depth, the sooner that I create more presence, the sooner that I bring more consciousness to a moment, I evoke that from other people too. And other people are going to feel safer. Other people are going to feel that there is space. And that may be uncomfortable for some. And that may be really nice for others. But that's why my question is, are you able and willing and ready to be seen, to receive that presence and to be seen in your experience? So I am, and I am ready to be seen fully by myself for the first time. That's amazing, powerful, Noni. That's a great question, Emilio. Some days in some ways, but still carry shame about shadow self at times. Beta, that's wonderful. That's wonderful that you recognize times and spaces where you are, and you can recognize when you are carrying shame, you are carrying limiting beliefs, you are carrying something that is preventing you from being ready to that, for doing that. And those are healing entry points, healing opportunities for you to keep going down the journey of, okay, that is something that feels icky in my body. That is something that feels resistant. So you can become curious about it. You can be gentle. You can take it at the pace that feels good to you. But you can move forward in the way that feels good for you. Becca says, being seen fully requires trust in the person seeing me, without me being embarrassed, without judging myself. Yeah, Becca, that is wonderful. And there are two components there, right? So you say that for you to be able to be seen by others, you need to trust that person. And then you talk about your feelings of, if I am seen this way, I may feel embarrassed. I may feel something that may block me being able to be seen by that person. So it's really important to recognize, like, what does safety mean to me? What do I require to feel safe? Right? That can be another question, like, what does safety mean to me? And what do I require to feel safe? Yeah, I think that is how I am traveling, Emilio, slowly, gently, guided by my heart, intuition, and nervous system. Yeah, that's beautiful. That is the way to go. Because we are the ones who know what's best for us. And we can have many guides, we can have many teachers, we can have many external influences that will inspire us and will excite us. But at the end of the day, we are the ones walking the path. And each of our experiences is unique and different. Um, yeah. Yeah, so these are some of the things that I had to share with you. As always, your presence is always a gift. You guys give me the opportunity to be witnessed by you. I am able to nurture that in myself. I am able to create this space that hopefully creates some presence for all of you. I hope that you can feel inspired to keep asking questions, to keep being curious, and to keep nurturing and cultivating presence in your life with yourself and with others. And anytime you notice that that presence is not there, anytime you notice that there is a blockage, anytime you notice that you are being triggered, that is an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself, for you to discover things about yourself. And I was talking about internal family systems in another session, right? And how there are different parts of us that show up at different times when they feel triggered. And all those parts, they have been created in the past, some in our childhood, and some as life events keep happening, different parts of ourselves keep being created. And internal family systems talks about the importance of creating space and presence for each of those parts of yourself so that they can express themselves, so that they can provide what they wanted to provide you, but in a way that makes more sense now, not in a way that it's still limiting. So it's very important to keep in mind that this presence it's a very healing opportunity just with yourself. It's just an ongoing thing that you're going to keep noticing about yourself, and every different part of you that shows up in different conditions, just get curious with them. Okay, I see you are here. I see you are angry. I see you are feeling wounded. I see you are feeling abandoned. I see that you don't feel worthy of this. And then try to become the observer and give them space and presence so that they can communicate with you. And they can be witnessed by you. And when that happens, things are going to change. Healing is going to happen. Transformation is going to happen. And it's just being able to create that presence, that space, that communication opportunity, what makes the whole difference. And then you can include, I'm going to do internal family systems, I'm going to do childhood work, I'm going to do inner child reparenting, I'm going to do shadow work. Then you can do whatever feels good to you. But I think everything starts with being able to be present without having to do anything. So I don't think I'm confident enough to be seen fully by one person group, not share it all to one person. I am willing to show all my sides to different people who feel right. Yeah, Lisa, it's good that you are aware of that. And my invitation will be to keep exploring here. Why do you feel that way? And what's stopping you from being seen fully by the same person? And I'm sure that something will show up for you, maybe a past experience, maybe something that happened to you that created the belief that it is unsafe to be fully seen by one person. Just get curious. And if that feels good to you and you don't feel, then that may be what you need, right? You don't have to show your full self to everyone either. That is really your choice. But hopefully you can show your full self to yourself. That will be really good. Yeah. Amazing. So guys, thank you so much. It's the end of the session. I hope that you got value from this. As always, if you found value and you can support me with a donation, I will be super grateful. I hope that this session sparked new ideas for you to nurture what presence feels like, looks like with yourself and with others. And hopefully you keep creating, keep expanding, and keep creating what feels good for you to be seen in your fullness, in who you really are. Hopefully by yourself, and then by the people that you love, and by any people, because what you do has an impact on others, and what you do can help others. So sometimes it's selfish to actually keep it for yourself. It's better to share it. Okay? So much value. Thank you, Emilio. Yeah, you are most welcome, Suzanne. And I hope to see you guys in the next live session next week, where I'm going to be sharing more about being able to be present, being able to be grounded in the unknown, and what that looks like, and all the different ways that I have to face my demons in this uncertainty. And I'm sure that you guys will find ways to relate in your own life when things are changing and you are in the middle of something chaotic, that the past is gone, the future is still not here, and you are in this place of transition that feels very uncomfortable, very uncertain. And yeah, how to stay grounded in there. It's very difficult. And I will share some of my experiences about that. Amazing. Until then, have an amazing week, guys, and I will see you then. Okay? Adios.